Hey guys, Marmalade here. Thank you so much for joining me today for episode 9 of 5 Things. So first off, I want to thank Shanks Mayer again. He had a good suggestion a couple of videos ago, and he has another good one here. And it is 5 good tips or ideas for layering. I'm sure most of you know, if you backpack or hike at all, what layering is, but if you don't, it just means how to get the most out of the minimal amount of clothes you can bring, especially backpacking where you have to carry it all. A day hike, you don't mind carrying a little extra because you'll be at the car and be at your house at that night. But when you're backpacking, it's really important to have a good coverage of all kinds of temperatures and weathers, but not bringing too much to where you're just carrying stuff that you don't hardly ever use or weighs you down. So I'm gonna go over my 5 tips, and then stay tuned to the end. I'm gonna show you my 4 layers one by one and how I do it. So stay to the end for that. And let's get started with number 1. Oh, and I failed to mention before number 1 that we're all built differently, tall, short, thick and thin, all that. We all run different ways. So number 1 is about that, which is trying to figure out whether you run hot or cold and how your body works. This is actually a great way to start, especially if you don't know yourself very well. I'll give you an example. I happen to run hot, so I'm warm very easily. So it really dictates the kind of shirt I wear when I'm hiking, when it's warm out, how I layer up, how warm or cold my jacket is, my quilt, my rain jacket, all that stuff. And so if you run cold, you may have to carry an extra layer, or each layer has to be warmer. So make sure you do that. Number 2 is do your due diligence and actually get out there and hike. Day hikes, weekends, section hikes, whatever you do, but try out different layering systems, whether it's like I said, if you run hot or cold, if you have thick jackets, thin, depending on the temperatures. But try to figure out how you can minimize, like I said, your clothing, but have the least amount of layers. I personally have 4 layers that I planned on doing the whole PCT with, and that's all I needed. If I were to go through the Sierras, let's say, on the PCT in a very cold part of the year, I might bring an extra base layer. But besides that, I had 4 layers, which I'll go over, like I said, at the end. But make sure you get out there and test it and try it. Oh shoot, I'm too hot. I never got warm. This rain jacket wetted out, that kind of stuff. So you want to get out there and test things out, figure out what works best for you. All right, number 3 is, depending on where you're from, know what your extreme lows and high temps are going to be, and weather, whether it's really rainy or dry, things like that. I live in Southern California. It hardly ever rains here. I wish it rained more actually, but I kind of know what to expect. I know that on trail I have lack of water and warmer temperatures, and I need sun covers, things like that. But learn with your clothing, are you protecting yourself from the sun? Are you trying to keep cool? Are you trying to stay warm? Things like that. So know your area well before you go out there and do it. All right, number 4 is something that I was guilty of until I attempted my thru hike, which is bringing way too much clothes, which we know equals to weight. So until you actually do a thru hike or a very long trail, you won't appreciate this. I think, my longest trip before my thru hike was 4 days and 3 nights, and that's my longest. It was almost always 2-day trips. And I was willing to bring an extra sweater or jacket or extra this or that, because I was only carrying for a couple days, and I'm off trail, I'm in my bed, comfortable. So, but when you're thru hiking, you have to carry it every day. There's no need to bring something you might wear every few weeks or 3 weeks. So, that's another reason figuring out your layering, so that you can minimize the things you bring. It's less things to have to touch in your pack, to take in and out all the time during weather. And so, so minimize the amount of clothing you bring. So number 5 is get the sizing correct for each layer. If you wear a small, medium, large, doesn't matter. I'm a 6'3", I'm a bigger guy. I wear extra large or double X. That doesn't mean that every single layer is the exact same size. So I wear a synthetic shirt, so it breathes better and wicks away moisture and dries fast. This is an extra large. I'm going to show you, by the way, I remember I said I'm going to show you all my layers at the end. My Echo hoodie is a thin layer, very light to throw over. It has a hoodie. It has SPF qualities. So if you want to get out of the sun, in my area, I hike in the desert a lot, it's hot. But even if it's cool, which is what I like in the mornings, I put that over my head, keep my head warm. And then as soon as I get hiking, because I run warm, I get warm pretty quick, take that off. And that is actually a double X. My next layer, which used to be my puffy, is now a synthetic jacket, is my Enlightened Equipment Torrid Apex synthetic jacket. And that's an extra large. It happened to run about a half size big. They run there, so it happens to fit kind of between an extra large and a double X. So that fits nicely over my synthetic shirt and my Echo hoodie. Then that's my synthetic jacket. And my final layer is my rain jacket, which has actually surprisingly been really good so far. I was gonna spend a few $100s on the top of line one. I I ended up getting the Frog Togs Extreme Light, and it's a double X and it fits over everything. So you want to have that loose too, you don't want to have it tight. If you have your rain jacket tight, it actually compresses your down or synthetic jacket and actually doesn't trap the heat as well. All these 4 layers are trapping layers of heat. I've been in as cold as 20-something degrees with these 4 layers and been totally toasty. And I've slept in some of these layers at night too when it's really cold. I mean, I have a 10-degree quilt, but sometimes these also help in your quilt or bag at night. They have hoodies so I keep my head warm with my my beanie. All right, speaking of that beanie, here it is right here. I have just a basic soft beanie. Wear at night, wear around camp, things like that. I have black just to hide the dirt. I have some actually new gloves I haven't worn yet from REI, but they have the touch tone so I can actually use my gloves and touch my phone if I'm looking at gut hooks, things like that. These are just a thin, super light pair of gloves. I wear them at night sometimes when it's cold, so that's good. And I even have, I'm a shorts wearer, as you guys know. I always hike in shorts, pretty much. But even on these long trails, I only wear shorts. So my one protecting layer is I got actually a brand new pair of Outdoor Research Helium rain pants, much lighter than my old ones. And it's funny because I hardly ever wear them actually in rain, but it's for really cold temperatures. It's good in camp at night when there's mosquitoes, just so you're not getting bitten left and right. And I've even worn them at night in my quilt when it's cold. So these rain pants are multifunctional, which is important with your clothing. So I really only wear the 4 upper layers, and I have rain pants. That's really it. And then I can throw the beanie and the gloves in. The one thing I do have that's I've never actually used in all that, I've probably done over 5,000 miles in the last 5 years. I haven't used them yet, but I do have very thin, it's made by, called 32 degree heat. These are my sleep bottoms and top. They're very thin and light. I try to get out of my hiking clothes and get this on by covering all the dirt on my body also, and some clean socks. My body is, even if it's dirty, it's covered, so I don't get my quilt and my air mattress and everything filthy. They're dirty as it is, but you know, it keeps me a little cleaner. But this is a protective layer if you had to do it in an emergency situation. You were in the Sierras and the temperatures got way down low, you get in a storm. You could wear these under the rain pants and clothes and things like that for an extra layer. So that's technically my extra layer if I ever need it. So I don't need to bring a whole nother layer for that. All right, so that's my layers. Let's show you on the video, showing each layer as I put it on so you can kind of see what it looks like. All right, let's do it right now. Oh, also, I'm looking for specific ideas for a video I want to do. And what this is I have plans for possibly a big hike this summer that I'll let you know if I actually am going to do it. But I'm looking to shake it up a little bit. I'm not spending all this money on Mountain House meals and all that because it's such a long trip. It'll cost a fortune. So I'm looking for recipes. I don't have a dehydrator. I'm not going to dehydrate my food, but I'm looking for ideas from you. I'm going to pick out the 5 best ones. Like I'll give you an example. There's one that I found online that is ramen, and you add Parmesan cheese and parsley and garlic salt and kind of spice up, and I'm going to add some white chicken to it. So something like that where I can buy the ingredients. It's not big or heavy, but I can package and have on the trail. So I'm looking for 5, and then I'll rank them and then try to pick out my best ones. So give me some ideas if you have some that you love or you know about them or you can make one up. I'm looking for that, and I'll give you credit to be the winner. I'll give you all credit if you want for the recipe, but I'll pick out a winner, which I think is my favorite. So yeah, let me know if you have any ideas for that. And that's about it. Hopefully if you haven't subscribed yet, you'll consider subscribing. Like the video if you enjoyed it. This is a fun series. This is the 9th already, and I'm just looking for more ideas. I've got actually some coming up that are going to be really great. I think you'll like. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, see you down the trail.